So going live, you're live.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Biscotti Conversations. Another magnificent video, another beautiful day. And my guest today is Benjamin Berry.
Hello there, how you doing?
Magnificent. Thank you ever so much for joining me. We are sporting lager today. We were going to go for something a bit darker, but there was a distinct absence of anything fair price within the shop. So, anyway, thank you ever so much for coming.
No worries.
Ben is a very accomplished musician, multi-talented instrumentalist, and a live streamer of CSGO.
CSGO, via geo-gambling, whatever, basically.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So I'm just trying to get the link to the thing to my friend here.
He's also spreading out
over.
numerous feelers for marketing purposes.
Basically, yeah. Oh, that's live now. There we go. And I can copy that, paste it.
Magnificent.
Bada bing, bada boom. Put that out there. There we are. Wonderful. I can put my phone away now.
Yeah, dude. Awesome.
There
Fantastic. Oh, thank you finally so much for making it onto the podcast.
It's taken a while. It's just a travel. That's the
absolutely.
the bad part.
You're based reasonably quite.
About half hour's train right away, isn't it?
Yeah. So. With walking, which is through Chichester, is interesting.
From one end of Chichester to the other can be quite the challenge. It gives you a good old sweat, you know what I mean?
It's a gnarly environment. Like, it's weird.
Especially when you're out there and it's like 20 degrees and you got like I've got a vest top on, a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm stony here, and I've got a leather jacket as well. All of that just builds it up. It's really muggy weather.
It's a bowl, isn't it, Chichester? Even though, because even though it's meant to be, you've got the South Downs, and then you've got like numerous other kind of like reasonably tall structures or things that occupy, or kind of like create your environment, really, don't they? Well, they create that horrible kind of, once you get heat, you're not losing it. Like in Chichester, that's the horrible thing about it.
Yeah.
So we've got a few people just
turning in,
turning into the house. They may be featured in the background.
How you doing, my dude?
Oh,
welcome in.
Oh wow,
that's the guy from my side.
Oh, fantastic.
How you doing, my dude?
What's up, Martin?
Right on, Martin.
Dude, I love the internet. This is like the coolest thing.
Social media.
I love doing it. I loved it. This is so much fun. Oh, this is never-ending amounts of fun on this one. I mean, good lord. Oh. So we've come basically directly from the studio,
from the practice area, from my rehearsal space.
We're finally ready to get something down. I mean, like, we don't really like mixing.
What you're chatting about? Anything and everything, basically. Just whatever comes to mind. Rambling. If you've got any questions to ask us, fire away. If you've got any questions, we'll discuss it. You know,
I may answer. I may not.
I'll probably answer. You know me.
If it's a good,
You know me. You've seen my streams before. You know what I do. What are you drinking? I am drinking San Miguel. That is what I've got in here.
Heineken. I got my Heine.
So we're both going to go for ale, but it costs way too much. Like, it's much easier to get a 4-pack of lager than it is to get 2 bottles of ale.
Well, Princess here wanted to get bottles only and didn't want to put up. Didn't want to
better
follow
to drink ale out of a can, out of a bottle, than out of a can.
Only because you don't like the widget. Only because you don't like the widget, though.
It's the bottom bit of the can. That's what it is.
I tell you what we did in first year. When we got the widgets that you get from the inside of ale cans. And we turned them into a beer pong game, which we called Pambo. Yeah. And you basically just get different plastic cups and sellotape them
Heineken's from his country.
Around the world. Pardon?
Heineken's from his country.
Is it?
Yeah. You're saying that's sick. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Probably brewed here, but I mean, Heineken's it's definitely a Dutch beer, though, isn't it? I mean, like, the hometown brewery is in Amsterdam.
Well, the thing is, the community that I'm in, with what I used to do with my streaming, many of them are actually Dutch. Like, most of the people are Dutch.
Get out of here.
There's a big show. I think he's Dutch. Okay. There's a big streamer in my community called Prodigy. Prodigy DDK. He's a massive streamer in the community that I'm in. I believe he's Dutch as well. I believe he is. He's Danish. There you go.
Oh,
he's Danish. But a lot of people in the community are Scandinavian.
Wonderfully active user. Fantastic stuff. Right on. Welcome to Biscotti Conversations, dude. Three
welcome.
Like the most amount of like people I've had on a live stream. I've had about 8, I think, before. Maybe on one night, maybe 7.
When I used to do my gambling stuff, I could break like 50, 60 viewers.
Really?
But that was when I actually had money to be able to use. And what brings in the viewers is giveaways. Right?
Oh, okay.
That's what brings in the viewers. Martin can testify to that. You know, when you do gambling streams, you got to do a giveaway. You know, because otherwise people just aren't going to tune into your stream. Like if you do a stream without giveaways, no one's really going to tune in. That's the problem with my community I'm in. You know, is that there's a lot of giveaway hunters within them. Like within the VGO and the viral community, there's a lot of giveaway hunters. They make up a good proportion of the viewership on most people's channels. I mean, there are a lot of people who tune in to the person themselves for the entertainment, but a lot of them are saying, "When's the next giveaway? When's giveaway? When's giveaway rolling?" And it can really get under your skin.
Well, the best things in life are free, I suppose, and a lot of people like hunt for that free aspect on it. Really,
yeah. Virus and Irons, yeah. A lot of Dutch people in the community, yeah, definitely. Yeah. What are we going to talk about today? Come on. What should we start on? Because I think we've touched on like the VGO stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like I like leaning around all the different communities. I like trying to get as like extra extroverted almost as like removed from the conversation, like almost. I like to get like as crazy and as different and as gnarly with somebody. Like I like when people like get comfortable, like when they fall into the real them, like when you exactly like that. When you get like comfortable, like when you get comfortable and you can talk about absolutely anything and everything, and especially if you want to talk about nothing, if you're able of talking about what the concept of nothingness is, because it's we've
known each other a long time anyway, so
exactly
we know we just talk about absolute crap for an hour. It won't make any sense. Somehow we managed to talk for an hour.
Ben and I met through a friend of an acquaintance of mine called Lewis, who bore a striking resemblance to Ben.
We're like twins.
Met. They were
like
twins. Brothers. Yeah, so we used to take the mick out of both of them. And Ben used to work at a local shop up the road, and that would be our place of purchase for all snacks.
You'd come get everything from that shop.
Oh yeah, exactly. And he'd be behind the counter. And then one party at uni, he turned up in, and I was like, "What? Who oh yeah, I recognize you from somewhere." Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, you're the guy from the shop. You're Lewis's brother." Yeah. And then all of a sudden it turned out that you were also doing a degree as well, and like you. And then,
I wasn't just there for the beer.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then you just kind of like steadily kept coming to more and more like social occasions and whatnot, and it was brilliant. And we kind of gelled, and then I was like, oh dude,
when you moved into that big house as well, I only lived like 5 minutes down the road, didn't I?
Yeah.
So it was really easy for me to come to any parties you had. So all I had to do was just walk 5 minutes down the road, and I was at your house.
Oh, dude,
and the house parties there were incredible, weren't they? They were really good.
Yeah, dude, we tried hard, mate. We did.
You had a bouncy castle one time.
Well, we did it properly. We got every time we set up a party, we had what we call a board or a committee. So there's a board of about 4, 5, maybe 6 to 8 people. With Upton Road, we got about between 4 to 8 people on the organising committee of it. And then you assess the space that you're working in, that you have to fill with fun objects and different rooms for things for people to go in and to spend time in and with each other and to bond over games and drinking and or not drinking sometimes as well. You have rooms for that, or if you have a room for like people that like things a little, like the party to go a little bit heavier as well. You have to cater to every form of group or social group or person that's going to turn up to it, which is a really difficult and challenging thing to do. But so we immediately we had somebody on the board that was like, yeah, I can get us a bouncy castle. And then me and Jack were like, oh, fantastic, right? So we'll go and get booze then. We'll source all the booze, and then we had the other guy like Dave, who's going to be coming on for our Christmas special on the podcast as well. We can shout out to Dave, who does end up watching. Oh, motherfucker, I love that dude.
We're both from the UK.
United Kingdom, born and bred. A big amalgamation of interesting genetics.
I don't know if you can tell from the accents. Very British.
Yeah, big genetic soup, like kind of going on there. A little bit of Norse, Moroccan, but mostly like sort of Anglo-Saxon.
British tough. Oh, that's a whole ball game. Like real big.
Oh, yo, dude. Oh, I'll keep that off this podcast.
We're all confused. We're all confused. We're all confused about Brexit. Basically, we're just going to disconnect the internet and float off into the Atlantic. That's what we're going to do.
I'm a bit like Wile E. Coyote with the whole political stance at the moment, where I just
holding up that placard saying, "Oh shit."
Yeah, like I pull the blind down on the train. Like I just let it happen. Like I'm just like let the water flow.
You're one of those people that
I hold my breath for as long as possible, and I like try and help anybody.
You're one of those
else.
people that holds the blind down, but every so often you peek out of it like that.
I'm like,
hey, what's going on? Is it still going? Oh no, I'm gonna hide back again.
No. I keep the blind down. I pour myself a bit. I sit down and I just keep working on whatever it is that I love and adore. And I just think like, right, well, this is the best thing that I can do to try and benefit or give more back to humanity.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, well, that's like the best I can do. So I just think like, well, there we go. That's me done. That is my contribution. And I didn't take away from my contribution by trying to meddle in somebody else's contribution, which would like how I like to almost see political stuff sometimes. Which I go like, right, you've got to be, if you want to go political, you've got to be really into it. You can't like go half-assed, and I would be going half-assed if I tried to do something with it. So as a result, I'm like, I'm leaving that for older me to deal with, and I know that's probably maybe an irresponsible thing.
The thing is, we're still young enough to be able to make a change in the lives that we have in the future. You know, we're still young enough to be able to lead, you know, any sort of change that should happen. Because at the moment, we're being governed by old bastards who have no idea what is actually right for the younger generation, you know. Absolutely. And it is really us and you know the generations after us, you know, Generation Platypus, Generation Z, you know,
Platypus.
We're there's Generation Platypus.
What
right?
the fuck is Generation?
Yeah, there's Generation Platypus. Like you've got like, the generation before. The generation before us was baby boomers, right?
Okay.
We are the millennials. After us is Generation Z, and after them is Generation Platypus.
Is this a legit thing?
This is a legit
something
thing.
that you
This is a legit thing.
I've never heard of Generation Platypus.
No, this is a legit thing.
Okay, explain to me Generation Platypus.
I'll tell you later. No worries, Martin. No problem at all.
Well, is he just? What?
Yeah, he'll tune it back in later, maybe.
Ciao, baby. Okay, right. Explain.
We got five.
Explain Generation Platypus to me, because I have no fucking
Generation
clue
Platypus is like the people who are really young now. Like you're looking at just in the middle of primary school, you know, coming into, you know, secondary school level, right? So my little brother, he's 18, right? He's Generation Z. Okay. He's Generation Z. He's 18 or nearly 18. He's going to be 18 at the beginning of next month. But he is Generation Z, right? And any kids sort of 5 years like below him and then back is Generation Platypus. And that's what they refer them to. I don't know why they chose the word platypus.
I was going to say, why is it platypus? That's my main question.
I have no idea.
That is an awesome little animal. Like that's one of my favorite animals. Definitely.
Well, they're like otters with duck beaks.
Yeah, they fulfill so many functions beautifully. Like they've got fur, they lay eggs, they've got a poison gland. Like that is a dope little animal. That is so cool. And they like the fact that they're in England. Like they're native to so many. Like just of course it'd be like it does sound like quite like a posh English animal, doesn't it? Like, have you ever seen the platypus?
The platypus.
Are you aware of the platypus?
Have you seen the platypus in its natural environment?
And here we see the platypus in its native environment, cleanly and serenely guiding its way up the river towards better air.
Shouting at you today.
Sorry?
Just decided what Lemmy should be shouting at you today. That's what I'm seriously phrasing.
Oh, dude, wait, is that Tom?
Tomo.
Tom, is that you? Are you? Did you turn it to a live stream? Oh, good lord! Wait, I need confirmation, baby. I need confirmation. You got to put confirmation in there that it's you. He may be in the
He's
middle.
He's gone silent now. Radio silence.
It might not be him. It might not be. It might be a pretender to the crown. But that is Tom. If that is Tom, then that is my. I was speaking to them. You're a big Motorhead fan, like am I?
I don't listen to him quite so much now.
Yeah.
But you know, I played Motorhead for my ensembles assessment.
Did you do Ace of Spades?
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
With Marta, we did Ace of Spades.
I only mentioned that actually. Yeah.
But within the these
Dude,
the middle part. I know.
It does it. We chose the wrong booze. You're right.
Lager.
You should have gone ale. Should have gone ale. I took the piss and I doffed my cat to you. So.
Yeah, I did. It's me, darling. There you go.
Hey,
confirmation.
Tom,
Confirmation.
He's ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking at the comment section now, there is a gentleman in there that is going to be appearing on an episode within, hopefully before the end of the year. I'd like to get you on. Dude. But I might need a refill.
Yeah, I'm probably going to need a refill.
Absolutely. I tell you, you go first. So Tom and I were discussing Motorhead recently, and if you look down the list of Lemmy's songs, the way that he's phrased each one of them,
yeah,
what he's done is he's named them the main choral verse of what he's going to be shouting at you.
Yeah.
So you just read it and you go like, right, what do I feel like Lemmy, like, or what do I want Lemmy to shout at me? And you just go like, right, I fancy like 4 minutes of him shouting the word overkill at me, and he's going, overkill, overkill, overkill.
Yeah, can you?
And he does like other words as well, but I'm saying that is the brunt of what he's going to be saying. Like,
thing is,
killed by death. Killed by death.
The thing is, can you imagine Motorhead going like,
Ace of
going like
spades,
PG?
ace
Like, if Motorhead went PG, all you're gonna get is Lemmy shouting at you, cheesecake,
Yeah,
cheesecake.
They kind of are though. They kind
You know.
of almost are PG. They're I mean, I suppose that definitely. I know where you're coming from though, because I mean,
Yeah.
they're definite like the rock and roll vibe morality
Like, can you imagine
that it's sitting
can you
in is
imagine that
not built for a PG-13
Like,
audience.
can you imagine if Lemmy, God bless his soul, was still alive? You could just like, you know, you could commission him to just make videos to randomly shout whatever you want him to shout.
That'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'd love to.
It's like he could shout just random words. You know,
or like somebody's got a soundboard of every
like, procrastinating otter. You know,
duck-billed platypus.
Yeah, just
Platypus generation.
You can imagine he could just be built to just shout anything at you. You know,
Dude, sorry, my mind's reeling about like the idea of that, like that you'd have like Lemmy's full vocal display at your disposal would be like just the
he would have made like thousands of that, just commissioning people to pay him to do a video just for him to shout something random into a camera and send it to you.
Hi, okay, Mr. Killminster, we have a list of words that we can't find you saying. Do you mind filling in the gaps, please? And he just has to go like
Venezuela. You can imagine it, can't you? It'd be quite funny.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like, you can imagine him doing that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we did Ace of Spades for our ensembles assessment in uni, and you know, in the middle bit where it's got the solo bit.
And don't forget the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the solo bit, and
Yeah,
the drums are
absolutely.
just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I ended up putting a double pedal in it. So just going bada, 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 while I'm keeping the speed up as well. You know, I'm
Yeah,
having the feet
absolutely,
in
dude.
there, just keeping that speed.
Well, Filthy Animal Taylor
You
would be
know.
so proud of you for doing that, because most of their riffs are all based around that double pedal practice. And I personally think as well that Filthy Taylor, because he himself does say that he is one of the people that helps to give a lot of rock and roll and metal the double pedal.
Yeah.
He is one of the people that has, spread that message, that heavy, just especially in
vibe.
Especially in Overkill. I mean, Overkill is the greatest example of that, because they one day went into the studio and he was just practicing the double pedal.
Yeah.
And then Lemmy comes in, grabs the Rickenbacker at 4003, and then just goes like, or like 4001, I can't remember, depending on which model he's fancying that day.
Yeah.
And just goes like,
yeah. But the thing is, Lemmy always played in chords, didn't he? He always played the bass in chords.
So cool. I'd love to be able to play like that. That's like one of the
Well,
that's
you're
one
more of a
my
slap
next-
bassist, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're more of a slap bassist rather than a
slap
chord
and walking.
bassist.
Slap walking.
Yeah.
And I love my how would you describe it? Almost,
Like, can you do galloping on bass?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing nothing but
Like in
galloping for
like in the
past-
Trooper when they do the gallop, when they do
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like the galloping.
Yeah, of
And
course.
Like I used to do that with because obviously I've got my bass as well.
Oh, by the way,
mate.
ladies and gentlemen, I play bass and I'm okay, but Ben is like. Ben's like classically taught bass. Like he is
Not
like
classically,
absolutely like but you know what
I was taught bass
so
on a
good.
1-to-1 level.
If I don't know where I'm going and what I'm doing, this is the guy that I would like message F off a clock. I would wake him up to ask him, like,
Well, I studied
where
like
am I doing?
I
What am
studied
doing?
7 years in
How-
music. You know,
How do you get from this point, up to here? Like that's another good one as well. Is that
Well,
you're
that's all about music theory.
You're great. Yeah, I know. But then this is where I fall short, is because I'm not somebody who's devoted a lot of my time to music theory. But the practical application of music is something that I've done my entire life.
Your practical application is already on point. It's just your theory that would need working on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and where I had to
by the way.
study the
Thank
theory
you.
of
To
it.
have somebody like you to give me any form of praise like that is massive for me, and I thank you, by the way.
Well, you get praise for what you do good, and
Yeah.
you are a really good bassist. You can do stuff on bass that I can't do. Like, I'm not a slap bassist at all. Like, I can't do slap at all. But I think the reason for that is because I have a 6-string bass.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do slap on the E string when you've already got a top B that is already in the way. You
But
can't do it.
Exactly, but you
So
like your...
I do all my walking stuff, but
Yeah.
I learned the theory behind the structure behind it, and learning how to get from one place to another, and learning whereabouts on the board it actually is.
Yeah.
And that's why I can play guitar as well. And it's much easier to go from playing drums to playing guitar than it is to going from bass to playing guitar, because you already understand the rhythm of things.
Yeah.
But it's much easier for you to pick up as well, I find, because I started drumming first. I've been drumming since I was 12 years old, you know, and I'm 27 now. So 15 years worth of drumming experience I've already got behind me.
Yeah.
And as a left-handed
You're
drummer,
a fantastic drummer, by the way.
I've played drums right-handed, you know, and I've had to play open-handed to do it. Like I've had to play this way. So whereas I play usually that way, I'd play this way and play it open-handed. But even then, I'd still keep up the same sort of rhythm. Even though I'm using the wrong foot for the bass pedal, I'm still managing to keep it up. I've played guitar upside down. You know, I've played a bass upside down in college. In college, that was when I actually first took up bass guitar, because I started my music degree in college. Because I did a year in sport first of all, but that didn't go well for me. After tearing my ACL, that was it. I was out of sport. So I went in and I did a first diploma in music down at South Downs College. And we didn't have any bassists in our group whatsoever. In our entire group, there was no bassist whatsoever. So they said, can someone pick up the bass? Is someone willing to learn bass? And I put my hand up and I said, yeah, I'll learn bass. And they gave me a bass guitar. And I took hold of it.
Is that right-handed?
It was right-handed. I turned it the other way around. And I performed a gig on an upside-down bass.
No way.
That Christmas, my mum brought me a bass, a left-handed bass, and I used that ever since.
Oh, dude, that is so rad.
That's
cool.
I did a full gig. I think I even did a Bill Withers song on an upside-down bass.
Oh, we were talking to sing.
Yeah, we were singing Bill Withers earlier, weren't we? I did a full Bill Withers song on bass upside down.
Wow.
You know, actually, I think it was a lovely day.
No,
I did that up.
Oh,
I did that upside down. I'm burping a lot. I know. In the fucking recording session today, and I burped into the mic, and I just lost my shit.
Yeah, we were doing some recording earlier in the studio, and we had quite a it was a reasonably quite a flatulent display today, truly, in the studio, to describe it from anything less. You are to me, from what I would see as a musician in terms of the amount of different instruments that a human being can touch, though, you truly are a polymath, almost virtuoso in terms of instruments, because you can I can just hurl something at you and you're like, I'm not too sure how that like, and on the rare occasion that you've never heard it before, I can show you the video, or you'll find the video on your phone, and you will just know, you know, how like you can extrapolate the notes that build up the song as well. Whereas I can play that one bit that I listen to, and I'm like, I'm good on that bit, and then it's up to me in the next 5 minutes. I have to try and pull out the rest of what I think is going to comprise what makes up that bit, and what makes up that bit, and what makes up that bit. But you go like, oh right, yeah, and then later on they're going to go into that bit, and then that bit, oh, I see where they're going, and then within 10 minutes you have the whole song down, and bar solos and outros, you've literally got the entire skeletal work of a very complicated piece of music down, and that is so cool to me. That is something
you've got to be able to strip down a song to its absolute basics.
That's a real piece of my soul. I love watching you do that.
The problem is cool. Where I'm so used to critiquing music as well and listening for different parts, I can't really enjoy music anymore. You know, my enjoyment for music has really decreased over time, because I got so used to critiquing the music and looking at different parts of it and splitting it into different parts and getting it to a skeletal base.
Yes.
You know, and then learning it upwards from there. You kind of lose your enjoyment for it after a while, because you can't then go to a gig and enjoy that gig. Because you start critiquing what's happening.
Unless you are seeing one of your gods, unless you're seeing somebody that you're like, wow, this is my hero. Like that's the only time though where I got there and I go, wow.
I went to see Blackberry Smoke a few years ago.
Oh yeah, they're good then.
Right? I went to see Blackberry Smoke a few years ago, and I couldn't help but critique some of the things that they were doing. You know, I just can't go to a gig because my brain automatically goes into critique mode, goes into skeletal mode, going to breaking the song down, listen to certain parts.
Yeah,
That's what my brain goes to.
absolutely.
And so I can't enjoy a gig anymore. I'm going to go see Five Finger Death Punch in January along with
but you're
Megadeth and Bad Wolves.
Yeah, but you're going to enjoy some of
I'm going to
that,
enjoy
though,
it. The thing is, we're not in a standing area. We only managed to get his seats for seating, like right up in the fucking rafters.
Yeah, which can be a little bit limiting sometimes.
And it's not easy to enjoy music in a seating place.
Because you need to express. If you're crazy like you and I are, if you're mad on music and you get so into the moment, you forget where you are, you forget like what's happening and what you're like. It's like when you're listening to a very good piece of music and you adore music more than anything, it's like being in a casino. It's like being in how a casino is built. There's no clocks on the wall. You don't know where the time is. 10 minutes goes past, you're like, one song, wow, they never. Whilst that song, you isolate the drum patterns in your head because you're like, what are they doing on that this time? Oh, they've got some lovely filler going on in there. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, sick. You're rebounding off the bassist there. Shit, what's the bassist doing? And you go into the bassist and you're like, oh, that's really nice. Let's see what they're doing. Going up to wait, are they going to go high end on that? But yes, they are. I love that. They're going to get back down again. And then you go, okay, right, let's see what the melody's doing. Let's go guitar. And then we'll finish on singer because you normally finish on singer because that's where it tops. It's like a cheese on top of a really good piece of like a bolognese with pasta. You've got this guitarist that's just wailing off. Like I'm just saying, like classic when one is analyzing a classic 4-piece band or rock and roll band. Like for example, Chili Peppers. That's where my brain goes through, and I love doing that. And Zeppelin's another one. I've been going through listening to loads of old 70s live Zeppelin recently records and just listening to their 72, 76 maybe live set it's available on YouTube, SoundCloud, and so many other things. Is that famous one of them doing Immigrant Song live? There is this force of nature that Led Zeppelin are that is absolutely untouchable. It is incredible. There is a certain, and it's all of them. That's the reason why it's so good. You heard that story about the contest that was held on the radio.
Oh, of course, yeah,
exactly. It's like that. I hear that every time. I hear the contest every time. I feel my love the first time I ever heard them every time.
Really sorry.
Go for it, dude. Go for it, baby. Thank you, saved me. Oh,
nice little.
I've been doing a bit of sewing. I've been doing a bit of sewing this week. So, I
just found it in your bin. I'm sorry, it was bugging me.
It's quite right.
Do you know what I mean by little details? Like I notice little things when you're talking. I'm noticing little things.
Yeah, but anyway, sorry. I've been rambling quite a bit, but I just want to end it with saying though that it is John Paul Jones is so if you're not recognizing him already, then you should be because he is almost beyond. He's virtuoso in his ability to add to their music, and he adds all the little gorgeous details that make the Zeppelin songs what they are in terms of the little badgers in the night that evolve and turn into the sweet mysteries of daydreams and all of that stuff that Robert Plant goes off on. That it makes everything he does sound the sweeter.
Yeah,
the art of being a true good rhythm section is trying to make everybody else look good. It's not just yourself, and then by that calculation you make yourself look good. And that's like that's for me is the antithesis of where that comes from. But like anyway, what would your if you had to probably make a super group, what would you say for like going, let's start with drummer and bassist. Favorite drummer, favorite bassist, what would you go for?
Fuck me. Okay.
On the spot right now.
on the spot right now, I have to say.
So what do you listen to at the moment? So this couldn't be all time. Right now, in the heat of the moment, what would you say you'd go like right rhythm section?
Drums, Buddy Rich, all the way.
All
the way, Buddy Rich on drums.
Buddy Rich is the shit. Excuse me.
Buddy Rich on drums all the way.
Oh,
he's just
him on a snare.
He was incredible.
He can do like 10 different sounds out of a snare.
He was incredible as a drummer. God bless his soul. He was just a wonderful drummer, and I don't think there's going to be anyone of his like ever again. Just the way it was like the drums and him were one. The drumsticks were a part of his body. And he used them as part of his body, and it was just incredible watching what he did. And it's like he still gives me goosebumps sometimes when I see him doing like solo stuff, because it's just so good what he does.
Have you seen him and is it Joe Jones? I think the other guy as well?
I don't know.
No, not Joe Jones. Like I think it's Buddy Rich and Joe Jones. There's like some famous footage anyway online. You got to check it out. I'll link it to you later.
I think bass.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
I can't remember who it is now. I can't remember which one it is, but bass. It's from he played on the Asia album from Steely Dan in 1977.
God,
I think it's Chuck Rainey.
Chuck Rainey.
It's either Chuck Rainey or Steve Gadd. But what is one of those two? I can't remember who it was now, but that person on bass. Like if you listen to the Asia album from 77, oh my word.
Yeah.
Like I did that as part of my bass assessment as well. I did Peg and Josie as part of my bass assessment.
Josie, I think I know, but Peg, I'm not too a fan.
You have to look at it.
I'd have to listen to the album, yeah.
That was just top of the range. You know, the way he worked the bass lines is just like it's nothing to him. Yeah. Nothing at all. You know, he makes it work so well. And it's just so rhythmically enticing that you can't help but bop around to it. Even if you just isolate the bass and not hear anything else, you still find yourself, you know, your head's doing that and your head's just bopping around. That's what you want to have.
Absolutely. You want somebody that can hypnotize musicians.
Yes.
Like that's
you want that hypnotizing factor in it, you know, and
especially if you do music like you do, and well, like you know, like I do, almost like you want because a lot of the time, a lot of the magic goes. A lot of the magic can disappear sometimes because you know that you've seen the wizard behind the curtain so many times.
Yeah,
but listening to somebody manipulate certain things in certain ways is such a unique, glorious, and special thing to you. That is what makes music, and that's why you'll live so many years and do
the biggest age-old argument me and Will have is Led Zepp or The Who.
Oh, Led Zeppelin. I know he's going to say The Who.
I think I'm actually going to side with him on this one.
You bastard!
I'm going to say The Who.
Dare you? How dare you?
Led Zeppelin are legends in their own right, but The Who, you know, they defined an era. Okay. Led Zeppelin were amazing, and don't get me wrong on that. Led Zeppelin were great.
Roast me on The Who. Big up The Who. Right. Let's hear The Who. Okay. Let's hear. You know, John Paul Jones versus Thunderfingers versus and then John Bonham versus Keith Moon and Pete Townsend versus Jimmy Page, which isn't even close to like being a competition because Jimmy Page is like the only person that's even close to Jimi Hendrix, and then finally, of course, the obligatory Daltrey versus the man, the myth, the legend, Robert Plant. Robert Plant was said by a lady, I can't remember her, Gertrude something, but he is the only person who, by a lady who is almost practically genial level, she's fantastic. She wrote a book in the 60s, 70s called The Female Eunuch, and she described Robert Plant as a living god.
Pardon me. Sorry.
Exactly, but it's almost.
I've been burping all the way through this.
It's almost enough to make you expound all of your bodily functions.
He's like, yes. There you go.
Yeah.
He said yes. I agree with you, Tomo. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The Who.
Yeah. So
when you look at defining characters in the 80s, and you look at defining characters of that generation, 70s, 80s. You look at the defining characters and bands of that era. Led Zeppelin and The Who are like pioneers of that generation. But when you look at sort of British influence of what the bands had on the British scene, The Who hold that majority.
No,
look at the Who's badge.
Disagree.
Look at the logo for The Who. You see it everywhere. You see it on the mods everywhere. Their logo is much more known than Led Zeppelin
because they took it straight from the Union Jack. That's the only reason why.
Well, the red, white, and blue,
rock and roll groups, people that would prefer not to be affiliated.
It also looks like a target.
People that pan the cameras off. The people that are behind the drums. The people that prefer to rock and roll, stay in the shadows, and can give two flying bucks whether or not they get recognized or not.
Well, the logo is based more on a target, wasn't it?
Those people are Zepp fans. Those are the ones that, because that's where you get the edifice of having people that are dragging up heavy metal into the world.
Do you even know how Led Zeppelin got their name?
going down like a Led Zeppelin. They were like looking at something to do. Yeah, and it was Peter Grant, I do believe, who was their first, if not second, manager before they moved on to Jerry Weintraub in the late 80s. Peter Grant though used to carry a putter with him, and he was a humongous bloke, and he refused to be paid in anything other than cash as well for all of their gigs. I'm well aware of the history of Zepp, and I've seen Plant live as well.
Hey, calm it. You forgot Clapton. Page is third in guitarist after Hendrix, who was after Clapton.
Yeah, but I'd still put Clapton third best ever. I have the microphone now, Tom.
So why don't you do it? I just need to get something for the.
Oh, really? He's taking a selfie in the middle of a podcast.
You know, something for the gram. You know what I mean?
That was a selfie. I do apologize for the silence for those of you listening on the radio waves or those of you on SoundCloud. Thank you very much for tuning in, by the way. So
I was gonna.
Yeah, I came up with this like load of random brands that didn't exist, like Big Jugs was like one of the brands, and it was genuinely just it was like the idea for this marketing firm, and all they do is make so you know what do you call it what do you call it when women put glitter on their vaginas?
Oh, Vajazzle.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's for boobs. Like, and I thought of like this name for the firm, but it's like in a book like that I like part of like a page of notes that I made like a while back. But yeah, I thought, what if you had a marketing firm that was just completely devoted to jazzing up breasts? Like that's all they did. Like they were completely whole-handedly devoted to like yeah.
Isn't that why you have nipple tassels?
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So imagine the guy
spinning around with
invented nipple tassels in like the 1890s or whenever the nipple tassel was first.
Oh, it was around like 1700s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm talking up my arse. It's probably like even 16. I mean, like how old? Right. The age-old question is how long have people appreciated breasts? Go figure. Exactly.
We've always appreciated breasts. It's been around ever since like earliest the humanity can be around.
Exactly. And this is a lot of my argument as well for people saying like, oh wow, it's the first time human beings have ever done that. Rubbish. We've so done it. Like how long have we been around as a species? And the reason why nobody before that has
history is only recorded by the winners. History is recorded by those who win, not by those who lose.
Absolutely.
And that's why
because they're all dead. They've been killed by the winners.
all the history that we know is all dictated by what the winners have said.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at the War of the Roses, for example. You know, you didn't hear anything from the other side, did you? Because you had, what was it, Lancaster versus
Lancaster, Yorkshire.
Lancaster, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Right. Because you had the Lancaster Rose.
But they are both the same family, though. They are technically both branches of the Plantagenets.
But then you never really heard anything from the losing side. All you heard was the stuff from the winning side.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know. I know where you're coming from. I think,
and again, you look at the conversation we had earlier about Richard III.
Yeah, I was just about to move on to that. I think that's probably a better example because you've got things like with Richard III, you've got when Richard III, I think it may have been Bosworth. I may be wrong, but when he was defeated, though at that battle, that was a lot of the last that you heard from, apart from the obligatory cleanup job, which a lot of historical writers do, especially around late medieval times, is when they record anything. Is that it's normally kept up to, and then their sister, and then they normally describe what happened to the last of their relatives, as opposed to what actually happened to their power. You know, whereas because people just assume, it passed on to them, or it passed on to them. You know, these people still that lose this power and then give up and create a vacuum, create a power vacuum. They still have a lot of interesting things that we don't know where those are trickled down into. You know, where did all of that end up?
So just going back to the booze thing, it says Majestic melons.
Majestic melons. That's a pretty good idea. Oh yeah. No, I'm totally on board with that. Majestic melons.
Majestic melons.
Top shop titties would probably be one of mine. Or Majestic melons is a really hard one to beat.
S&M. Not M&S. S&M.
Oh, boutique brassicas.
These aren't just nipple tassels. These are S&M nipple tassels.
Ooh.
M&S could really go into that.
S&M.
M&S and S could really go into that. They just change it around and say these aren't just any nipple tassels. These are S&M nipple tassels.
These are not just breasts. These are M&S breasts.
Pretty much.
Been, mixed together through thousands of years of genetics to create.
But then again, the average age of people shopping at M&S is about 60. So
yeah, they totally appreciate that then.
And I'm not into that slaggy boob nature. You know what I
mean? Yeah, but then that's a whole other market for them. Is if they're doing Majestic melons, then they just that's them entering a whole new customer segment. Is the aged segment? Maybe you could do some decoration on the swing. On the
older generation have more sex than the younger generation.
On the pendulous. Oh, you never know.
No, they do. They can't get pregnant, can they?
Yeah,
they're gonna bonk like no man's business. You look at old people's homes;
yeah,
they always bonk.
I think. How do you know? Have you worked in one?
I've had friends who worked in them.
Yeah, you've got friends that worked in them. So
yeah, and they say old people bonk a lot more than the young people do.
Yeah, that's probably like
young people have more partners, whereas the people in old people's homes will bonk just the same people all the time.
Some statistics on this.
You can find the statistics online. Like you can find the statistics. Yeah. You can definitely find old people bonk a lot more than young people do. Because there's no risk of them being pregnant. Yeah, they may need a pill or two. There's still no risk there. There's no risk involved.
I suppose so, but I mean, you'd have to have if you're a woman, you'd have to sort of record.
Old people are a lot more frisky than young people are. They're a lot more. I don't want to be old. I don't want to be old.
What? You just want to snuff it before you get there,
mate? But the moment I lose the use of my legs, that's it. Take me out behind a bicycle and shoot me.
Yeah.
Put a shotgun to my head and put 2 barrels in me. I don't want to grow old.
You got it planned.
If I can't walk anywhere, if I can't use the use of my legs, I don't want to live anymore.
I will personally.
But then again,
I will beat you to death with your own guitar.
I'll get a granny scooter and just run people over with that.
I'll shank you with a drumstick. I'll be like,
actually, probably a bit more appropriate if I lose the use of my arms.
Yeah.
Right. Then take me out back and just shoot me. Right. Because
if
I can't do anything,
legs, you can still.
If I can't do anything for myself, I don't want to live anymore. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to self-sustain myself. If I can't do that and I need a carer, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
This is very.
Take me out back.
This is a very gnarly form of conversation. Is the what if? Excuse me. I'm also.
I don't think anyone in our age range actually wants to get old. We live in a nostalgic generation.
But I would also argue that as well for most other generations as well. I mean,
fantastic. What's that? Fantastic fun bags.
Oh,
that's why Switzerland is a thing now. Yeah, assisted living, death, basically.
Oh yeah, euthanasia.
Euthanasia.
Well, I would also argue
commit not living.
I would like to put another point down, which is not just the you either have to grow old and become boring and get less used to using yourself, or you just have to die young. There is actually a third path, which is one whereby you just moderate your levels of fun in certain circumstances and areas, so as by one does not cripple oneself, and that's just making sure that you don't have a bit too many drinks. You don't have that.
Well, then I'm fucked.
I'm not gonna. No, you're not.
Put it in that way. I'm fucked.
You're really not, because you haven't reached a point yet. You've not reached the point.
Mate, my knees are shot. My back is shot. I already suffer with mental health conditions.
Yeah,
I'm completely shot out of it already. I'm 27, man.
Yeah, but you are also capable of walking to co-op without complaining about your knees. You're also capable of walking to places.
That's because you get used to the pain,
without complaining about it.
You get used to the pain.
Yeah, but then that won't change. That won't necessarily get worse.
It's not going to change.
If it does, you'll find another way of dealing with it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen any of the it's not the 60s anymore. You can't just go oh god, imagine when it was the people in the 60s are probably going, oh dude, don't you just miss the 50s? You just miss the 40s, you just miss war. Oh God, don't you just miss it when everyone was banging, covered in mud and blood and bullets and shells and all that shit? No, like every generation misses what the previous generation had in a lot of ways, or you say like, oh, at least it's not the way that it was.
The thing is, when you look at
one second, the medicine that is available to us nowadays is a lot better as well. There is always hope, Ben. All I'm saying to you is never give up hope. Never give up. It is when you're down at your lowest and shittiest that you must climb. You must grab the testicles of life to clench them about your hands, because
that would hurt.
Exactly, but it's life's testicles. It's not yours, and sometimes that momentary pain relief can bring relief onto yourself. But you've just got to make sure that you try and keep working on yourself. Never give up on yourself.
Look at the generation that we're in. Okay. Our generation, millennials, right? When we grew up as kids, we would go out and play, wouldn't we? We'd go out to play.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd run around the fields.
And then as we got older, technology like completely just went up, right? It advanced so far in just a few years space of time that by the time we reached our early teenage years, we had MSN, we had Facebook, we had social media starting to really make us ground in our lives. And, we went from playing outside or maybe being on our local, games network, like an N64 or a GameCube or something like that, or a Super NES, to Facebook, to Bebo, MySpace, if you remember that.
I do
you remember those days when we had that as kids. When we became teenagers, we became then so hooked on social media, and social media has only increased as we got older. But we look at things, as we look back when we were kids, we missed the use as friends are knocking on a door saying, come play, to come outside and play footy or something, or to come down to the park. Whereas nowadays, kids are more likely to sit indoors, like in the generation after us. They're more likely to sit indoors and communicate with people through online means than actually go to their fucking house, knock on their door and say, do you want to come out for a while? Do you want to come out and just chill? No, they'd rather do it at home.
Yeah.
They don't want to leave their house anymore. And that's the difference between our generation and the generation after us and the generation before us. Because technology moved in such a way and developed and advanced in such a fast and short period of time that not only are we a nostalgic generation, not only are we bitter as well. We're bitter for what we had as, but then we're one of the only.
Why can't we have it though? That's my.
Well, we can't have our cake and eat it. That's the thing. We're not allowed to have our cake and eat it.
I think you can. I would argue that you can. I think you always can have your cake and eat it. Like, you just have to work for it or look at a different way of getting it. And it completely depends. It completely depends on your situation, on who you are. And I think that there's a lot more of a differentiated amalgamation of different formats and ways of growing up. And I think that what you're talking about does exist. I think it does exist in a lot of places. And I think it does exist in many different scenarios. But I don't... I don't think it's nearly as bad though as a lot of people say it on to be. I think there's a lot of people in the younger generation that are well parented, that have parents that say like, right, okay, right, that's right, yeah, I think you've had your Nintendo Wii U or whatever it is now, or like, what have you? You think you've had that on?
The thing is,
like,
you've got kids out there who are literally breaking their own phones in order to get the new one. To try and get their parents. Like, there was a video of that kid.
Yeah, but then that's just bad parenting.
The video where he said that made the rounds on social media. The kid had an iPhone 8 or something like that. You had an iPhone 10 or iPhone X, sorry.
And as 11.
The iPhone 11 has now come out.
Yeah.
And he threatened to break his phone so that his mum would buy him a new one.
Yeah.
He said, if you don't buy me a new phone, I'm going to break my old one, and then you have to buy me a new phone. They're entitled. They're entitled little shits now.
Well, he feels entitled. It doesn't make him entitled.
Thing is, there's more kids out there who are entitled, who feel like they're entitled to more than what life owes them.
Yeah. And
they're not learning how to be humble like we were. We learned to be humble. We learned to accept what we had, because when we were kids, we knew what we had. Yeah, in a sense, that's true. But we
there was a
were
lot
the
more
last
confusion. I
we were
would
the
definitely
last
say there was
generation
confusion.
not to have the internet as kids.
Yeah.
We were the last generation as little kids not to have the internet. And as we got older, dial-up came in, and then broadband, Bluetooth, all that came in. We had our Sony Walkmans, we had our Sony Ericssons and whatnot, and then the iPhone came through, and then everything else came through. We were the last generation when we grew up as kids within the first 10 years of our lives not to have the internet.
Yeah. I remember not having a phone. I remember not having a phone. I
The
remember
first-
not having a phone.
I didn't have a
very
phone
well.
until I was 13 years old.
Yeah, same. I didn't have a phone.
Whereas
till
there
I was
were
about that
kids
age
as young as
well.
5 now have iPhones.
My parents like let me have a block here. And I remember having a block here, but like I didn't.
25. Yeah, I know it.
I remember having a block here, like which I loved. I loved it so much.
Block here. You call it a block here.
It was so simple. It never complained at me. Like I
Yeah,
could,
but the
I
Nokias
could
were like
put it under the
bricks.
harshest nuclear conditions of being a school child, and it never moaned at me once. Like it was so
The
good.
first phone I had was a Nokia 3310 when I was 13 years old, and it had a Tigger phone case on it.
With the little orange bits that go down.
It had a Tigger phone case on it. That was the first phone I ever had. My parents didn't buy me phones very often because I have a habit of leaving it in my pockets. It would go in the wash, and my phone would go through the washing machine and break.
Oh, dude, the amount of phones in my house that got broken through.
I went through like 4 or 5 phones in that way.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember that they're really bad ones, and then like they seemed very content with it, and I was like, oh man, that's rad. But I just like the keypad, the size of the buttons was so small. I was like, how the hell can you like dictate or type or get anything down on there? And then they had like a little mouse ball thing built in, little tiny thing, like a little clitoris built into your phone that you can like move around. Like, and then I was like my parents wonderfully bought me a for one of my birthdays. It was like one of the cool. I still remember it was like the coolest present I ever got was I got 4 like at that time almost like because I remember somebody having the 4 was huge.
The 4 was like 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the iPhone 4.
Yeah,
it was just before Vine came out. Just before Vine became popular, that app.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Because
yeah,
I remember watching Vines where people still had the iPhone
Thomas
4
Sanders.
and it had the really big sort of charging port, didn't it? Yeah. And then the iPhone 5 came out, which was roughly around the same time as Vine came out. So you're looking about 2011, 2012.
Yeah, I think
when the iPhone 4 was out.
I think you're right. Yeah, because there was like the hype behind the 4 coming out was huge. I remember there was like a load of like
gotta go chat having an awesome time. No worries, serious.
Oh, ciao, dude. Love you, Tom.
Ciao.
Take care, baby.
Ciao.
Oh, that is like now forever in prison, like imparted on this podcast. This will be.
I'm out of beer.
I will. Right. Well, I tell you what. I will go and grab you a new one.
You might as well grab the other 2 cans.
No. I'm going to grab. I'll grab the rest of
just grab all the rest of the beer.
I'll grab the rest of it. Tell our listeners at home what you got going on at the moment in your new channel, though.
Well, I was talking about my channel I've got. Yeah.
Guys, Ben's just gonna. I'll be right back in about like a minute and a half tops.
So it's just me now. Hey, how you doing? I got full control. Full control. Gotta love it. Yeah. Basically, I have my own channel on Twitch, so I do Twitch streaming every now and again. I've taken a hiatus from it at the moment, so Twitch streaming is not in my view right now. But I am hoping to come back to Twitch streaming. I mean, some of you might have come through from this. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a fun thing. I've got a wedding coming along as well, so I do. I've got my wedding coming up soon, which is daunting to say the least. Really daunting. But yeah, not much really to say. I must admit, I'm used to interacting with a chat. I think I'm used to really interacting with a chat, which I don't really get now at the moment, I guess. But I hope you're enjoying the Biscotti Conversations. The sound may be a bit dimmer than what you expected, but this is early days. It's early days for the channel, So it's just getting used to it now. You know, early days for the channel. We'll get a bit more. Thank you very much.
And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that was nothing. You didn't see anything there.
Almost lost it.
Almost put branding on a non-branded podcast there.
That's all right. I mean, you can have some sort of branding on it. I mean,
can, but I never know what I'm allowed.
I used to stream on YouTube with copyright music. You know, I used to do it.
Some people get in trouble for like t-shirts and hats nowadays and shit as well. Like I wanted to put my Vans thing on there, and like I remember like Vans having a problem with somebody I think like a few years ago. I'm probably going to get in trouble with Vans for saying this now.
You might have done better streaming on Twitch.
You see, I like Periscope. I'm a wee bit of a Periscope.
Why don't you stream this on Periscope?
Because I prefer YouTube. YouTube is my dog and bone, really. It's awesome. I think it's because it's the only reason why I go on YouTube is because it's like where I look. Like
San Miguel sponsor.
You know. San Miguel is not a sponsor of this podcast, and we'd just like to do a shout out to them, thanking them very much for their patronage of existence. Thank you.
Patronage of existence.
Thank you for existing, San Miguel, so that we may have this glorious, bountiful.
If I put up a giveaway on Twitter, more people will come across. I bet you.
Got your phone
I bet
out.
you if I do a giveaway.
Got your phone out
your phone's
on the
over there.
podcast. Yeah, but I haven't touched mine throughout the entire thing, though. I don't even know what. I
have such a connection to my phone, you wouldn't believe.
You are one with your phone, Ben.
I am. I've had such a connection to my phone.
I'm like half one with my phone.
I think that's where I feel myself. I'm entitled. You know, where
You're not part of the new generation.
Well, yeah, I do.
You're a platypus, Ben.
No, I connect with Gen Z. Right? I know. In some ways, millennials are entitled in their own right. You know.
Last 2 viewers there. Perfect. We are down to 0 viewers. This is how I like it. This is how I like it. There's nobody viewing. Nobody can see what's happening behind the curtain.
Cunt.
Dude, the moment that you said that word, somebody came straight onto the thing. They knew you were going to say it.
That was funny.
Taintful man. I'm gonna have to put a parental advisory.
It's the magic word.
Like thing.
That is the magic word. You got a viewer from that. You got 2. You got 2 viewers from that.
Oh, they've come back. How's it going, guys?
You got 2 viewers from that.
Anyway,
you said a C word more from it.
Yeah. I have a very interesting question to ask you.
Okay.
If you were to get into any other form of art, what would it be?
Game narration.
Game narration.
Narratives. Game narratives.
Oh, fantastic! So, so what part of the actual creative process?
Would you writing the story.
So you want to be part of the game, actual story board. Writing the creation of the
writing the vocal narration of the game. So the way you interact with different characters, with different NPCs. That I'd love to write that. You know, and write the different. So the main storyline or something. You know, the way that you interact with other characters. I'd love to get into that.
Wow.
You know, I think that'd be really fun. I mean, I'm
fantastic.
I'm doing it in sort of vocal memos right now.
Okay.
But I'm doing vocal memos in chapter by chapter for a book that I'm looking to write.
One of these things is going to require a lot of editing after you've kind of compiled it, type thing.
Yeah. Well, it'll be sort of getting the vocalized bit out of it and then writing it down. Yeah, like a vocal diary.
Okay.
And then writing it down in words afterwards. Basically, I've titled it "Lying: An Art Form."
Okay, I'm interested.
Right, have a picture interest.
You've piqued my interest. Right, yeah. Continue, artist.
So, the way we look at lying in its own way. Okay. So, people lie every day, right? There's millions of people out there, some more than others, every day who are telling a lie, whether it's a white lie or a big lie, political lie. Trying to keep something away from someone lie. They're lying in some way. Some are better at it than others. And others just don't know how to lie properly. Like they can't lie at all. But the way I see it is that lying.
Sometimes I find it like I get into a situation where I'm like I genuinely like try and challenge myself not to lie because I look at the way someone's behaving and I'm like this person wants to hear what they only want to hear. So I'm like I'm going to not do that right now.
I see lying as an art form. right?
Okay.
I see the ability to lie as an art form. That's how I.
And Benjamin, you're a dangerous man.
Well, I've learned through study how to at least try and do it properly.
Yeah.
You know, how to make sure a lie can come across as truthful as you
Okay.
can make it.
So what would be a classic, a key stage example?
Key to example, what do you mean? Like, how do you know when someone's lying?
Yes. So if you were gonna, if you yourself were gonna break down for somebody what a rule in front of somebody,
Right.
well, I'll tell you what. Take me through a hypothesis.
Okay, so if you want to lie to someone, you know, you've got to make sure you know what you're saying first and foremost. You know, because if you're going to stumble over your words, it's much easier to distinguish a lie from it, because you've got to be confident in what you're saying. If you're not confident in this lie, it's going to be seen through very, very quickly, because people are going to get suspicious of it. You know what I mean? The words to say,
But
and that can be seen as a bit more suspicious.
I know what you mean, absolutely. But
You know.
sometimes, but then you see, I love my 4-dimensional chess as well. So I love things like trying to trick one's opponent through the guiles of deliberately making them believe that you are a fool is one of my favorite type things. So like when one turns up drunk to the party, but you haven't actually had if you've had one drink, but you're not putting it on, but you're just making sure that you're pushing the atmosphere a little bit harder than it needs to be, just because you want your surroundings to match your emotions sometimes.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to put that little bit of facade of you're taking it from an 8 to a 10, because you're like, I'm at an 8, everyone's at a 6, but I think this place should be a 10. you understand what I mean? Like it's not like, oh god, no, I sound like I'm firing off on all cannons a little bit earlier, but I don't mean it in that way. In my loquaciousness, I may have been a little bit over presumptive of the fact, but I mean.
If you allow me to sort of explain
yeah.
where I come from with what I'm writing, right? One of the first things is being confident in what you say, because if you're not confident in what you say when telling a lie, it's going to be seen through very quickly. The second one is your body language. Your body language speaks volumes in whatever you're saying. If you're trying to tell a lie, you got to make sure your body language matches what you're doing. You know, eye contact, for example. When people are trying to lie to you, they'll look away. They'll look downwards. They'll look other places. They'll look away from you. Rather than look you dead in the eye, they'll look behind you.
But I think it's quite an English thing as well. Sometimes is to when I'm listening to, because I'm a massive musical person as well. So I sit, and if somebody's saying something to me that is really intensely important or very very important to them, then I have to, sometimes I'll sit and I'll stare blankly, and I'm not even using my eyes when I'm staring. I'm completely, what you're saying to me right now, I'm taking in 100% of it. But if I look at you, I'll be distracted by the thought of you. So I can't be distracted by that. I can't be taken, torn, or moved at all by.
Well, that's another part of. So
I'm just saying
lying.
that's something that as a personal experience. Like, you know, I whilst I'm saying something to you, I might be looking well elsewhere. But anyway, sorry, continue on.
That's the part. That's the part of lying. You know, you've got to be able to make sure you hold that eye contact and you don't look away. Because again, that's going to be seen. Another part of it is.
But then there's the convincing yourself as well.
Yeah, but another part is the embellishment as well. Because a lot of lies will be embellished with truth.
Yes.
Truth is then embellished to make a lie out of it.
Justifying it. Yeah.
So I could say something to you right now, and you may not know what part of it is a lie and what part of it is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, so if I was going to make a statement to you right now, which was, I once got stuck in a zip line at Disneyland Paris, and people had to throw a rope to me to try and get me off of it, because I weighed not enough to be able to get me down that thing. The incline was not too steep enough, and I was above. People were having dinner with a glass ceiling. Ooh, which part of that was a lie?
Oh, that's really good. That's a really hard thing for me.
You know, which part of that would be a lie? You know, you don't know if it's all a lie. You don't know if it's all truth. You don't know if I've actually put a lie in there.
I don't think any of it's true.
You don't think any of it's true?
No, I'm going to say none of it's true.
Most of it is true.
No way! Oh,
Most
dude,
of it is true.
terrible
I once
judge of people. I'm a
got stuck in
terrible
I
judge
once
of
got
human
stuck on a
beings.
zip line above a glass ceiling of people having their dinner, but it wasn't the Disneyland Paris. It's at the Eden Project.
Oh, dude, I love the Eden Project.
The confidence in what you.
Sorry,
The confidence
shout
in
out
what
to the Eden Project if they do somebody ends up listening to it from
the confidence in what you say and maintaining that eye
I
contact.
was thinking the glass ceiling bit at the end was the only bit that I genuinely thought was true, and then I was like, right, maybe you put that out as a red herring to get me.
No, the glass ceiling bit was true, but it was at the Eden Project. Everyone was having a dinner down through the glass ceiling. I was actually looking down at them.
Stuck up there.
Yeah, I got stuck up there.
Dude, how many?
I was like,
meters
she had to throw a rope to me to try and pull me back.
Oh, so you can like.
But I was stuck there for about half an hour while they tried to find a way to get me across.
Dude, that's crazy. Wow.
You know, it's like playing that game, two truths and a lie. You know.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't like playing things like that because I always end up like, especially if I don't know if I've had a beer. I don't know if I'm on a public platform, one doesn't want to say a story that's a little bit too taboo and then have it come back and bite you in the ass.
It's like if I was going to make free.
There's always people in my stories. There's always other people that want somebody knows somebody that's definitely going to be listening to the podcast. So like, I don't like too much name dropping people, but
so it's like if I was going to make 3 statements to you,
yeah,
right? You'd have to try and guess which one of them was a lie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll do it. Okay. You start because you're very well versed at this right now, and I'm
right. Well, you got to allow me a time to think of
damn
the
it,
truth and a lie.
Because that's what I'm trying.
You know, you got to allow me to think of the chance to think of a lie and two truths and a lie. You know, so it's taking that time to think about it.
Yeah, because you want it to be something good as well. You want it to like rebound off of the other one quite nicely, but then you also don't want to manipulate it into something that you'll be easily interpreting as like, oh. Okay, so like. Do you want to go first? I'll tell you what, let's do rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I thought you were doing 1, 2, 3. Go.
No. On 3.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 1, 2, 3. Go.
Oh, dude. Right, okay. Yeah, you go first then.
Okay. Oh God, I've got to think about this.
Right. I don't know anymore.
Right. What we'll do is that we'll make a statement, and you've got to tell me whether it's true or not, and I'll make 3 statements.
Okay.
You got to tell me whether you think they're true or not.
And 2 of them are going to be false, and 1 of them is going to be true, or I don't know.
It could be anything.
All 3 of them could be true.
All 3 of them
I like that.
True.
I like that. Potluck. I love it.
But all 3 of them could be lies.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Statement number 1.
I once used to referee a Fratton Park.
Pardon?
I used to referee a Fratton Park in Portsmouth FC's home ground. I used to referee there.
True.
Okay. When I did the tattoo on my neck here,
yeah,
I managed to study Tolkien's original works.
True, because.
Okay. I once had to play a full gig on an upside down guitar.
You just mentioned that earlier on the podcast.
No, I said bass.
Oh, okay.
I once had to play a full gig on an upside down guitar.
Bass sometimes. Okay. First 2 are true. Third one's a lie.
And they're all true.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They're all true.
Yeah, they're all technically true. But that was good though.
But it's trying to see through a lie.
Yeah. And yeah, those certain small bits as well that make it a truth or a lie. The amount of truth or the amount of lie. Why?
I've refereed there once. But as a linesman, not as an actual referee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
so technically that was a lie.
Then. Yeah,
it's a half truth, half lie. Because I was a linesman, not a referee.
Okay. I once helped to save a drunk dude's life at the bottom of the stairs in a train station. True. My first one.
True.
Second one would be I once drank a pint of my own sick.
False.
And the third one would be that I I don't even know for this one. I shattered my collarbone during a game of rugby.
True.
Okay. All three of them were true.
Okay, so the second one was true.
Yeah.
I can actually see that from you as well. I can actually imagine you doing that. That's the problem. I wanted to call true on it, but I thought he's got to put in a false somewhere in there.
I've done.
But no, I can imagine you drinking your own vomit. Yeah.
I did. Look, in all honesty, I've done.
Probably turn a light on. It's getting a bit dark.
Yeah, it is a wee bit. I'll tell you what. 1 second.
That's a bit better.
Ta-da! Right.
Go for little Peter Griffin. Ta-da!
Okay, so the first. So I first time I've actually drunk technically a pint and a half of my own sick.
Why would you do that?
The first.
How drunk were you?
The first time was absolutely railroaded. It was glorious.
Right.
It was like, you know, it was a challenge to see what you wouldn't do really at the time.
Right.
Like almost like especially amongst the group that you're among, where you're all kind of like you're all skaters or daredevils and comedians and people that want to, you know, like crazy people. That was like the demographic of people that I was about at the time. So one of the guys we got up to the point of the evening where everybody's pretty squiffy, but you're not destroyed.
How British is that word, squiffy?
And all of a sudden somebody goes like, right, it's time to get shots involved.
Oh,
so
no.
some
Oh,
arsehole goes straight for the top shelf, and obviously me being me, I was like, I'm not going to call it quits on the evening just yet. So I'll tell you what, I'll join you for a little bit on the top shelf. So I joined them. It didn't seem too bad at the time. I was like, oh, I'll do that, and then you know what? Actually, I now remember. Oh, that was it. Yeah, no, it was my birthday at the time. So I was very picky and choosy with what I was trying to consume, and they were like, all right, okay, right, we've got one for you here. So they got me a dirty pint.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then they also had 4 shots behind it. One of them was a Malibu. And another one was just Lambrini, and then there was also the classic vodka, and then there was a horrible Scotch. Right. And I hate doing shots of Scotch because I love to sip Scotch. I love certain things off the top shelf, but I can't drink that much of it because I just can't. I don't know how younger me used to do it. I'm always amazed by my younger self because I can never recreate anything that I've done before. Like I can't. Anyway, I digress. So I did 2 of the shots of this thing.
Yeah.
Along with the dirty pint. So I did the whole dirty pint, smashed it, wasn't even a problem. I was like, that was easy. I'm very drunk, but I'm in plausible deniability. You know, and you're just mumbling nonsense at the people around you. And then move on to the next one. And I'm 2 shots in, a dirty pint down. I've had about another 2 shots before that, and then I've also had about 6 pints in the evening before that. So we've gone to quite a few pubs, and I lift this shot of Jack Daniel of Scotch to my lips, and it touched my lips, and I just thought, oh no, I can't survive. So I lifted the empty pint that the dirty pint used to once reside within up to my face and emptied myself into the pint and filled it right back up beautifully, perfectly, and gorgeously right to the top.
Don't say any more. You're gonna make me feel sick.
And
you're gonna make me feel sick. Don't say any more.
Everybody, like all the guys in the pub were like, "Oh, dude, that was raw. That was raw as hell, dude. There's no way you're gonna ever end up doing that." And I, without even questioning, I don't even know what this says about me. I grabbed the entire thing and necked my entire pint of sick.
Oh man!
And everyone was like. And there was no noise. It's the absence of noise that amazes you. You're expecting everybody to go, woo! It's the...
Oh, man.
Whoa!
I had that once with a college tour I went on. because with college, as part of our final year exam, we did a tour of the Isle of Wight. So we played a few venues in the Isle of Wight as a tour over the course of a few days. And the last day, we were staying in Sandown, right? We were staying in the chalets at Sandown, right?
I think I remember that.
And we all got together in one chalet for a night of just complete drunken debauchery.
Naturally.
Right. And there was a guy in our thing called Seb, right? Polish guy. He got absolutely bladdered, right? And you get the trays that you bring out of the fridge. You get the trays in the fridge that you put all your veg in.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah, like the fold-out box thing.
Yeah, get like the long ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He had one of them, like, under him because he was not in a good state. He was not in a good state.
What time was it during the evening? So he'd hit it early.
This was like 8:30 in the evening.
So he'd hit it way too early.
He hit it way early.
No, dude, poor play.
He was sitting there just going into it,
nursing a fridge tray.
And Alan the drummer.
Alan
the drummer. He's always egging on people. And he was like, drink it. And, we're like 18, 19 at this point. We don't know anything better. So we're like, drink it. And fucker.
Do you want to see what happens to another human being after they digest that? Absolutely.
The thing is,
science at the time.
It's like lined with like just
you can watch liquid going
this liquided shit. It's making me like feel fucking queasy just thinking about it. It's just liquidated shit. And he just picks it up. Fucking wallops it down.
Well, the entire thing.
Thing.
Monster! Yes, don't you dare leave me hanging. Yes. Oh, that's. And
we're just like, you fucking monster.
I did a pint. That is general.
Thing is, I got 15 bottles of Stella down me that night before I threw up. I was the last person to throw up. I was 19 at the time. I was the last person to throw up, and I just stood there like this, just like. And I went to the sink, and I just sat there like that and just went. And Alan, right, same Alan, right, he's like, hey, Barry's throwing up, and he comes over, he's like, take a picture, and there's me, just
dude. Dude, I hate it when people want to take pictures when you're like really.
We got charged because Seb, I stayed in the same chalet as Seb. He ended up throwing up all over the fucking chalet.
Oh, dude.
Right? They don't allow students back now because of what Seb did. They didn't allow students back now. We can't do a tour. South Downs can't do a tour of the Isle of Wight anymore because of Seb's actions. I had to hold his head up on the fucking boat back. I had to sit next to him and hold his head up because he was like.
Do you remember?
That's what he was.
Do you remember in third year our house parties?
Oh God, fucking hell!
Did you go to the second one, the one that got out of control, which I will describe on another podcast? I'm not doing it this evening. It's a different.
I don't know if I did actually.
The second one, okay. Well, with all of those, bear in mind all of those and everything that happened and everything that was ingested,
I think if I did,
and that evolved upon.
I think if I did go, I left quite early.
Yeah, you might have left early from the second one, which was the big
because
one,
I wanted to get home because I had work the next morning. I think.
Yeah. Like quite a few people did.
Because I had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning to go for work. Yeah. So I turned up for a couple of hours and then left.
I bumped into our landlady from that house about 4 or 5 months ago, and she said she missed us.
Right.
Shout out to Mrs. Johnson. Seriously, if she ever ends up, or any of our sons or anything, you are the Don. We love you. Thank you so much for looking after us. Big up, big shout out. Thank you so much. Like, honestly. Anyway, continuing on.
It's weird. You look like Jules from What Culture?
I don't know what that is.
Watch What Culture and look for Jules. You look like Jules from What Culture.
I'm sure you're probably very correct on this, but I mean, so I bumped into her in Superdrug.
Post editing, bring up a picture of Jules.
And she had she bumped into us and she was like, with everything that had happened, and she'd helped us to get rid of the police, and she helped us get rid of 4 squad cars, or maybe it was 6, and an ambulance that was turning up to us, and all sorts of.
I want to say you're embellishing this.
No, I'd love to be, but like I think I'm under embellishing compared to what she actually told me, because there's many other things that actually happened on the actual thing that I can't talk about just yet. But that's mainly just because I probably haven't Yeah. Anyway, I know, and I digress though. Going back to seeing her in the probably even worse than that. Seriously, dude, it got crazy. there was like bottles.
The house probably got crazy.
Bottles all over the neighborhood, and there was like people vomiting in like all over the place, and I had to like ferry people. There were people that didn't live at our house that were trying to turn people away from going into other people's gardens to go and vomit in other people's gardens. We had like a guy that lived on the next left-hand side of us who had a baby, and he was on the board of the council. But that's for a different time. I still live in the place where this is happening, so I don't.
The conservatory as like a fucking.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. That's coming up on another podcast. That's like in the next like few.
Oh, am I giving information away now?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no!
Look, you're going to be
forbid. Should I release some information?
I'm sure you're going to be on the next load that will end up discussing a lot of this. So but anyway,
a good thing for you to do is that if you can't get people actually to the house, what you can do is you can do it in like a Discord server. Get a Discord call with everyone, and they can have the cameras activated if they want to, and that way you can get everyone involved, and you can get like a multi-person podcast going.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we are like, the thing is that we've definitely got planned to have all of the guys from the house on the podcast at some point, because they've all agreed. They're all like, yeah, 100% want to be on the podcast.
Well, like Jordan and
Jordan's coming on in like 2-3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, Greg's on next week.
Girl Stoner.
Yeah, Greg's on next week. Jordan's on in like 2-3 weeks, and then I've got Jack wants to come on, but he's just a bit like nervous about speaking in public. The moment he gets going, he'll be
always speaking in public, though, is it?
He'll be amazing.
So long as you forget there's a screen right there.
I've seen him do so many announcements in different places. He's gone, right, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming this evening. All sorts.
The thing is, once you forget there's a screen right there, you
yeah,
don't bother about it.
Like, no, absolutely. I've no problem, because I am me, and there's no other me I could be. Like that's the problem with me, is that I can't be any other really version of myself. I can try, and I try, but I just can't. Like I just end up being me. But anyway, just quickly to finish the story though. Yeah, like I bumped into our old landlady from that era, and in a super truck, and she said that she missed us and she wanted us to come back, and that apparently we were legendary. Was the word that she used. She said that our party and we were legendary, legends, in the neighborhood. And it touched me so greatly that I almost want to get her on the podcast. Like I want to ask her if she wants to come. She probably wouldn't say yes. I'll stretch a feeler out probably like in the next few months, but like it was incredible to bump into her and to have somebody that I remember. My last memory of her is her saying, "Have you got everything out of the house?" And I'm sorry, Will, but your white leather couch that you had in your bedroom can't have anywhere to go, so I need to take somebody with it. And I'm like, I don't have any money, so I can't take it with me. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get somebody in to remove that. And I'm like, that's absolutely fair enough. It's my bad for hauling it up the stairs and destroying half the hallway to try and get it into my bedroom.
Pivot. I
loved it though. I feel no remorse about having that white leather couch in my bedroom. I loved that thing, dude. That was so dope. Man. But yeah, we'll get into that, but like further down the future. The further in the future we get away from those times, the easier it is to talk about, but it's still a little bit too close, especially with regards to the sheer amount of stories that came out of that, like Andy in the car, and Dave with the drain pipe climbing up into the room when those two lesbians had broken into Jack's bedroom, trying to bang in his room and stuff, and then, like the lady with epilepsy as well. But I'm going to try and get everybody, because I want to try and do a group podcast at some point in the future where I get everybody on. But I mean, it's just difficult to wrangle people because everybody's got like big schedules and is doing stuff. Everyone's busy nowadays, so it's hard to get people. It's fucking hard enough to get you until eventually, exactly, until you like message me and you're like, hi, so when are we doing this podcast? And I was like, fucking this weekend, dude, I'm getting you on. Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you ever so much for coming on again. I mean, a third time, but really thank you so much for stopping by. Really,
you have to bear with me because I really need the loo.
Oh, I tell you what, you go, because I
really need the loo.
This is the problem with drinking long drinks, ladies and gentlemen, on a podcast is that it is difficult. It is difficult to maintain one's bladder in such a elongated situation of time. But to quote a favorite podcast of mine, which is Joe Rogan, having somebody in front of you and having a long conversation with somebody, another human being, regardless of who they are. I mean, like, I'm biased here because I basically just have a lot of my friends on. It's mostly friends, really good acquaintances, people whose dreams and aspirations and what they do I really believe in, and I want to help them and they want to help me, and we all want to help each other be the best versions of ourselves we can be. It is all about receiving it's the pheromones, the look, the eye contact, the vocal tones of rate and everything. It is all of that is having the full-on experience of having another human being in front of you. And of course, we're sharing a few drinks like now and then. But that's not going to be every single podcast. That's not going to be all the time. And it's not going to be every conversation between you and the other human being. But it's so important to have an isolated moment between you. Hey, he's back. It's so important to have. I was just talking about how important it is to have an isolated moment between you and another human being where there's nothing else. There's no crap. It's us two. Right now, it is
raw.
Us two. It is raw. It's us two. We've got the only existential influences or crutches is beer and the fact that we've got a link directly to potentially lots of people. So it means that what are we going to be not ourselves? We're like you and I can't choose not to be ourselves.
Well, with the channel I used to run, I'm used to being in front of a camera.
Yeah,
So and you learn to
I've done performing arts.
You learn to forget the camera's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So although there's a fucking screen that's looking right at us, you tend to just forget about it and you just talk anyway.
Yeah, because you're like this is my chance. There's a certain limited amount of time in the world that we have as human beings.
It's just saw Ross trying to come in. He's like, nope, fuck.
Dude, come on down. Like, there's a certain limited amount of time that you have as a human being on the world. This is my opinion, and I want to fill it with as much hilarity and happiness. I want future generations of my kids or my kids' kids, or my brother's kids, my family. I want them to look back on this and go like, oh, this Uncle Bill, he's swearing a little bit too much that he shouldn't be having that drink, but he's look at him. And all I'm doing is I'm working towards trying to make people entertained, make them laugh.
I'm just looking forward to seeing you without the beard.
Make everybody having a good time as much as possible. I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing you without the beard.
I can't wait to get rid of it.
It's going to be funny.
Yeah, I love it. But
he said he wouldn't shave until the EP was done. Until our EP was done, and we're about to go into the studio soon. The end of sort of mid to end November. I think we're looking to go into it. So looking forward to him actually
November is going to be a magical time for this beard and this mustache to be in existence. I'm sure.
I probably won't be shaving until mid-October, depending. But I need to keep my beard on because I like my beard.
I love my beard as well. Absolutely. Here's the beards.
Here's the beards.
Yeah, beards.
Obey the beard.
Obey the beard.
Respect the beard.
Obey the beard. Dive off for like one more urine session, and then we're gonna have one more beer together, and then.
Well, I'm on my last one already.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, Faith and Begora, Benjamin Berry.
I've gone through 4.
Mr. Double Ben B, Mr. Double B.
Double B.
Double B.
Double B.
Double B. Another beer.
It's good. We've had like a consistent one viewer at least.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever it is.
I don't know who it is. God bless you. God bless you who you are.
Pick up that one viewer. Like if you're watching this right now, you put a comment down there, and we will respond to any question that you have.
God bless you.
Because we're probably going to be going for like another 10 minutes, maybe, and then like maybe 15, maybe at this rate. I gotta jump into because I have the bladder of a
fucking old boy.
Oh boy. So go and flame this up. Tell the beautiful people what you've got going on because we want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Nothing.
And if you say it loud enough, then I can hear it from the toilet.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak that loud. You know me by now. I have control. I have control of the whole podcast. So yeah, who's that one viewer? Who is it? Come on. Speak up. Put a comment down. Who is this one viewer? Let us know. Be nice to know. It might have been easier to stream on another platform, maybe. But we'll like to stick to YouTube. I prefer Twitch myself. Definitely. Maybe not Mixer. Maybe Facebook Live. You never know. Maybe Facebook Live. But definitely not. YouTube. Maybe I had my moment on YouTube. It just wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? But hey, what can you do? He's almost done in the toilet. There we go. Here he comes. Hey, Will, I've got an idea.
Yes, sir.
The last 10, 15 minutes or so.
Oh, yes.
Go live on Facebook.
Oh, God. Okay.
So
Ben is
we were going to do...
getting involved in some form of witchcraft on his phone here.
So if I was to...
I think he's trying to dual screen. Look, it's on his phone on a podcast.
So if I was to put the phone there, for example, and then lean it like that.
He's piggybacking.
There we
On.
So we can put the thing like that.
Go for it.
You know.
Yeah, turn it on. Turn it on right now. Let's get multiple screen. I mean, oh, it's all uphill from here, Ben. It's all uphill from here.
Right. So say we were going to go live.
Go backwards hat for the rest of this, because I couldn't consider myself.
So we'd have to do it that way.
As a little bit quirky.
Starting the live video.
Whoa! Wow, we've really run up on this podcast. We've smashed this, mate. We've smashed this.
We're live. There we go.
We're live right now. Woo!
Live on Facebook.
Woo! Again. Okay, another glorious meeting for us to be live on. Last beer of the evening.
There we go. Oh, it's got all notifications popping up there. Everything.
Oh
God.
Oh, thank you ever so much again, everybody, for tuning in to Biscotti Conversations to see my beautiful guest, Mr. Double B, Ben Berry.
Ben Berry, Double B.
Yes, he and I have been we've really shot the breeze, as it were.
Well, we've been doing it. We've been doing this for like an hour and a half already.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't feel like it. I mean, I could probably do this for probably another 3 hours at a stretch, maybe 2 hours. I could probably do this. I mean, I'm probably going to round off in like the next sort of like 15 to half. But this is. I mean, I've got you for as long as I can have you. So
yeah, you've got me for as long as I can stay without getting the train. Basically,
he's wearing a Primus shirt, which is probably one of my favorite bands.
There we go.
Big up Les Claypool. I mean, good luck Larry Lalonde and oh god, Lur as well, drummer. I can big up as well, big fan.
So just to let people on Facebook know as well, we are streaming on YouTube as well.
Yes, we are streaming.
So if you look for Biscotti Conversations on YouTube, we are streaming on there. If you prefer to watch from there, please go ahead and do so. But yeah,
there's a lot of streaming, a lot going on right now. It's a lot of very important things. I mean, you probably like connect the jack up to your. Like,
probably could. It's actually better quality from my phone as well. If you look.
Oh, you can.
It's probably better quality from my phone.
Definitely better quality from your phone.
Well, yeah, you can stream 1080p from the phone.
I finally got like the ratio aspect of like because I want less of me in it and I want more of my guest because I want the guest to be the.
No, the way I see it is that you got to have equal for the host and the guest. You got to have it equal. The way I see it.
On vocals, definitely, but I think the host should have ever so slightly less. I mean, just ever so slightly, not that much.
Oh, it looks like my sister-in-law's watching. Jenna Gary. Hey, Jenna.
What's up, Jenna?
My sister-in-law. Well, future sister-in-law.
Well, you got 5 years.
Yeah. See, that's what happens with Facebook. You get every so often you get like a few viewers coming in. You know what I mean?
It's only because it's like people are like on their phone.
I'm not sure how much they can hear because it's not obviously coming through the mics.
Dude, 2% of your audience are on the shitter right now. They're just like on the toilet, just going like, "Oh, look at this! Look at these two wankers
scrolling through,
talking about nothing, talking about Led Zeppelin."
Oh, you got my cousin watching, Gemma. Oh. Hi, Gemma.
Yeah, what's happening, Gem?
Coming to your engagement party, by the way. Her engagement party's on Friday, so I'm going to be going to that.
Oh,
we
by the
booked a
way,
hotel for the night as well.
you never finished though. We did the percussion section, but going back to what we were talking about an hour
I
ago.
can't think of guitarists or vocalists.
Guitarists and vocalists. I demand it out of you. You're on Biscotti Conversations podcast. I demand that you finish off your lineup.
I can't
Contemporary, just what you're feeling right now. What you're feeling right now at this moment in
guitarist
time.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Yeah. Dave Grohl, guitarist.
Not for drummer. I mean,
not for drummer, guitarist. Dave
all
Grohl.
right. So right now you've got Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich.
Yes.
I've got Chuck Rainey. I've got Dave Grohl on guitar.
Dave Grohl on guitar.
Yeah.
I love Dave Grohl. I think he's awesome, but I would never choose as like an all-round lead rhythm guitarist.
Yeah, just like an all-round guitarist.
Because Dave Grohl is awesome, I will not fight you on this decision. Okay, right now going on to lead singer.
Lead singer. Oh fuck me.
Don't worry about the cameras. The cameras, they will always be there.
I'm gonna go out there. Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley. Oh, dude, I got to tell you
Elvis Presley.
Funniest thing. I got to tell you the funniest thing I found out recently about not about Elvis Presley, but about this guy.
Can hear everything. I bet you can.
Okay, so there's this guy I work with, and he's really funny, but he's like the driest guy. He's like so dry, like, and it. Okay, so I mentioned we were talking about music at work and what we play. I said, right, what if we had a little bit of this on? And I mentioned Elvis, and I was like, what if we had a little bit of Elvis on? Let's put a little bit of Elvis. And he just looks at me and deadpan just goes, oh mate, my dad hates Elvis. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And he just goes, yeah, my dad hates Elvis. And I was like, what? Like, why? And he was like, oh yeah, no, he just hates Elvis, and he hates Elvis for like no proper reason. So it's like it's funny to everybody but him.
What's Jen saying?
Why are you?
Sorry, looking forward to a good. I can't see what the thing is. Just trying to find it. Rowan said hi. Hi, Rowan. No, so
click on the bubble if you want to get rid of it.
Why
am I giving him advice here about what to do on the correct podcasting? I mean, what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen?
What do you mean? We're jawling it up.
There's so much going on. Yeah, but okay.
There's more coming from Facebook. You know.
All right, let me finish. I found out this guy's dad hates Elvis Presley so much that when he's driving and Elvis comes on the radio, he physically smashes his radio and says turn off Elvis Presley. like his
Jeez,
DAB
how much hatred can you have for one person?
I was so impressed. I was like wow, I just love like their charisma. And like the guy interrupts me, he goes, where? All right, so and this is like the guy's son, and he goes, all right, so once a year, every single year, he says, I buy him Elvis memorabilia. So he buys him like a big mini Elvis, like something like that. But like if you're looking online, you can see this. But like if you're like listening, it's like so you know the pills, like not the pills, those little chefs that you can see outside of convenience stores that enable one to know that the shop provides hot food, basically, and it holds a little sign going, these are the pricing indexes of what we afford. Yeah, so he bought his dad one of those. And his dad apparently hurled it, and it cost him like 35 quid. And his dad just hurled him straight in the bin. His dad was like, just like smashed this Elvis and just hurled it in the bin. And it could have been part of like some like 80s memorabilia weird selection that was made once that was like never recreated. It could genuinely. But you know, like these private.
Could have been one of those like prime collectabilities,
exactly.
You know.
Like, and I just thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever heard. I couldn't stop laughing. Whilst he was telling me this, I nearly fell adjacent to my cart in the warehouse. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing at like the fact that this guy's dad hated Elvis so much. He physically assaulted his radio to prevent Elvis from coming onto it. I just thought it was brilliant.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Like, do you know anything like that? Like, I mean, if you choose,
no, fair enough.
Pardon?
So it's my cousin.
Oh, right. Oh. What? Talking about Elvis or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know it.
Talking about Elvis. Okay, right. I'm moving on from Elvis now.
Oh, we got Ruby watching.
Okay.
It's probably people scrolling through Facebook and they're like, "Oh, someone's live. Hello." someone's live. I don't know. And it's like, don't bother. Scroll back through again.
Dude, Becca's gonna tune in. She's gonna be like, when are you
No,
home?
she's no. At this point, she's gonna be like within the christening bit, so she's not gonna tune in. Oh, she's gonna be in a church.
I would if I was in a church.
She's gonna be in a church. Like what? She's not gonna tune into fucking Facebook, is she? You know, this is my time. This is my time to shine. My time of hour.
We're shining beautifully, Ben.
Shine a light on him.
I thought you were doing you're Black Keys fan, aren't you? Have you heard their most recent album?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant. You'd love it. It's really heavy.
Right.
And they do my favorite song, first song on the album, kicking off the entire thing. Shine a Little Light. Shine a Little Light is absolute banger. I have it appearing on most of my rock and roll playlists, most of my Attitude Adjustment, No Surrender, gym playlists. That I'm like, right, I gotta listen to that. I gotta make sure this happens. Anything I want to get pumped on. Yeah, and it's a contemporary piece of music, and they've beautifully edited it as well. Sorry, not edited, produced. They've produced it wonderfully. Somebody has sat down there and has gone like, right, I need this little bit of guitar to a pitch.
Right.
And it is magnificent. It is. I love it. It's so good. And just listening to like this to their new album though is fantastic.
Yeah.
They do the whole album is really good, but this first Shine a Little Light is like closely encroaching upon being my top 5 Black Keys songs I've ever heard them do. And that's from their new album this year, 2019.
Yeah.
Big them up if any of them ever end up listening. Like, Jesus, like, please keep going. Please, like, don't give in to the record companies. They were talking about this on Black Keys were on Joe Rogan recently, and they were talking about like the whole, like, what happens like during like the when you're uploading the Spotify. But when you're that size and what cuts they take. And also, you know, like not when you're our size, you know, when we're about to even kind of climb into the game. You know, when you're the Black Keys size and the cuts they start making and everything like that. And it's incredible to listen to them talking about it, because the drummer is one of the funniest people I've ever heard in the music industry talking about, because he just doesn't. He's like he's like I
saw a burped more in this conversation than I have any time.
You have?
Time.
I've been at pubs before with you when we've been in loud beer gardens, and I've never heard you burp.
Did you come out for my 25th when I did the beer coaster thing? Well, I was flipping beer coasters and trying to catch them. Yeah, I managed to fucking get it.
Maybe. I'm not too sure. But yeah, but if you listen to them talking about it though, it's so good.
Yeah,
you'd love it as a podcast. I'm incredibly flatulent as well.
Yeah,
flatulent's meant to be farting, I'm pretty sure. So I'm like passing it on as both any form of gastrointestinal, which is going up, i.e. burping, or down farting. So
the thing is, with working in travel insurance, I can kind of, you know the difference between gastrointestinal to gastro lung. Because trapped air in the lung is different to trapped air in the intestines.
Absolutely. Like trapped air in the lung is arguably it had to rise, or it couldn't make it all of its way down, or trapped air in the ass is stuff that's made it all of its way down and it's slowly fermented into. Well, I don't know, like I can't believe we got into the conversation of this. What were we talking about? We're talking about like
you wanted me to do guitarist and vocalist,
right? And you have done guitarist, which is Dave Grohl. You've got Dave Grohl, Chuck Rainey, and Buddy Rich. What is your final measure? So on the last bit of this, on the last bit of the podcast, let's have almost our finisher, clencher. I tell you what, we can take it up to probably 50 minutes. 50 minutes probably.
Oh God.
1 hour 50 minutes.
What do we got? What you got, Ben?
Who can I have as a vocalist?
What you got, Ben? What you got?
We're talking about Roger Daltrey.
I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go out of the way. I'm gonna say Aretha Franklin.
Oh, what choice? Yes,
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, you better think about what you're trying to do to me. Yes.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Oh, dude, she is the shit. I've been listening to loads of her, like original.
You're gonna go out of the way and say Aretha Franklin, yeah.
Dude, I'm listening to loads of her. That is a great choice. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Right, so your ideal band would be Aretha Franklin, backed up by Dave Grohl on guitar, with Chuck Rainey on bass,
and Buddy Rich on drums.
Rich on drums, who like monsters. All
Special
of them,
guest appearance by Stevie Wonder on piano.
Oh, you put another instrument in there. I love that. Oh.
Either Stevie or Ray.
I was gonna say, yeah, either of the blind dudes. Like,
Yeah, I wrote those two on piano as well, just as an accompanying piece, at some point within the set.
That's very respectable. I like that. But
Definitely.
yeah, that is very good. Like I've been listening to.
And if it was going to go a bit heavier, then Aretha can take a sidestep. We put in Janis Joplin.
Oh.
And we go a bit heavier. We go with Janis Joplin, like from maybe one song.
Bobby McGee.
We go with Janis Joplin after once for like a one song special.
Either Bobby McGee or
even Amy Winehouse.
Oh, dude! Oh, don't get me started on Amy. Oh my God, that's almost like even for a whole like just even bringing her up as a topic is like a whole other podcast. Like of discussion.
The thing is, we could do multiple podcasts together, just discussing different things.
When are you coming on next? That's the big question, though. I mean,
whenever you want me on next, we can make this like a semi-permanent thing. So like after a jam session, we'll come over and we'll do a podcast, dude, and we'll just discuss different things. We can make it like a semi-permanent thing.
Dude, I would love to do that. I honestly would love to do that. That's why we need to do one before November, like in October, because we're still in September. It's still early days. It's glorious. And
mate, I don't know how we've reached September.
Neither do I.
I don't know how we've reached September. It's still fucking April for me. The way the year's gone, it's still bloody April to me. I don't believe we're almost in October. I think I'm getting married like in less than 6 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Berry is getting married next year, and it's going to be fucking cool because I am a bridesman. Yeah, well,
groomsman, not
groomswoman. I'm a groomswoman.
You're a groomsman.
I'm transitioning. You don't understand. It's very important.
By the way, I need to let you know about the sizing, which is going to happen next year.
February, I'm going out for suit measuring or something.
February, we're doing the fittings.
I can't wait.
So we're doing the.
I'll make sure.
We're doing myself, best man, and groomsman on one fitting, and then we're doing the dads, the usher, and Gaz, who's the bridesman, on another fitting. So we're getting all that sorted. But I think we can make this a semi-permanent fixture.
Absolutely.
Is that after a jam session, I'll come round.
We'll come round and we'll do a podcast.
I'll come round and we'll do a podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll just...
we got a spare mic that you've given me now as well, so I can
exactly.
Person, we can get guests. And
we can get it through your YouTube. I can get it through Facebook.
Absolutely. This is fantastic. This is exactly. This is so
set
good.
It all up.
Like wow. Thank you.
I've got my Twitter. We can always put out on there. Yeah,
this is awesome. We've sat through.
Maybe next time I can do a giveaway and we'll get like 10 times as many viewers. Because a giveaway. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I can't wait to upload this and have people enjoy it and sit and listen to it.
The thing is, we could sit here for hours.
Yeah, like
we could legitimately sit here for like 3 or 4 hours and just chat shit.
I really could.
That's all we can do.
I have no limitations on what I can chat to, like especially you about like anything really. Like you're such a.
We can chat shit to a magnificent degree.
Yeah, you can just talk about rubbish, and it doesn't matter if we're right or wrong about any of the things, but we've 100% got opinions on like everything that's ever been made.
We have opinions about everything, and it's just sort of seeing how those opinions go. I think we can see it as kind of like a trial period.
Yeah,
for us.
This is definitely. This is for me as well. For Biscotti Conversations, this is the first time that we've ever had two
mics,
working microphones. So, and I would just love as well, just quickly, like to thank every single person for listening to this. Well, if you like this is your first time with us, thank you so much for
and you on Facebook as well,
and for
you on Facebook. Although you're coming a bit late.
Facebook, thank you so much for hijacking my podcast.
I've got to do what I need to do. All right,
but I would not begrudge it, and I would prefer it if more people hijacked. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna probably round it off there.
We're gonna round it off there. Yeah.
But thank you ever so much.
I think this is gonna become a permanent fixture.
Almost. He's gonna be probably on again in October, most likely, which is we're gonna be next in the studio, which is just down the road from there, which is working on our album, which should be out in late November, December.
December time, December, January time.
December, January, and it's going to be labeled as probably 2019 and its creation and release date and whatnot, but it probably might be a 2020 article on its perfection. I thank you ever so much for everybody for tuning in and listening. You guys have been awesome.
I am the captain now. Jordan Stoner.
We're
He's
gonna
coming for the Facebook thing.
Jordan. Jordan is coming on in probably around 3 to 4 weeks. We're gonna get that gentleman on, and he's gonna talk about his beautiful art, which is here. It's beautiful, there we go. Those of you who are viewing through
YouTube,
and on Benjamin's phone, I'm gonna kid.
Oh, you fucking dropped the phone. What have you done?
I have kidnapped your phone. There we go. Look at that, beautiful.
You've hijacked my phone.
I don't even need to say much about it because it's fantastic.
Hijacked my phone.
Glorious. Well, this has been a multimedia session, and thank you ever so much, Ben, for coming on.
He said, haha, retards. There you go.
Yeah. Cheers, dude. Cheers. Yeah, you think about your
Jordan.
space on this podcast next time you come on. Thank you so much.
We'll do this again very soon.
Thank you very much for coming.
I might go on live more on Facebook more often, you know.
Dude, you should do it, mate. You've got such a great I don't even know, ethos for live, because you are you. There's no.
I'm used to a live atmosphere.
Even on a recorded, you're going to be exactly the same as you are on live. So
it
doesn't matter. So
you moved your mic.
I've been chatting while there's no. I know. Thank you guys. We're
right.
there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching YouTube. I guess we move it over from.